I don't know if you guys can see me or not. But hi, I'm Karen. I have my machine in position to show you how to thread a sewing machine. So I don't think you'll be able to see me at the same time, but I at least wanted to introduce myself. I'm Karen Eiton, and I have been sewing pretty much all my life. I ran an alteration shop for 25 years, and I just wrote a tailoring book that is being published. And I think I could show you, a few little things that can get you started anyway, and to help you along the way. And if any of you, want to reach out to me and need some extra help, I'd be happy to help you too, okay, with your projects or whatever. Okay, so we're going to get started on threading the machine. It's already threaded, but I don't think my light works on this machine. Let me unthread it and then I'll show you. So this is your bobbin winder. This is what winds your bobbin here. You put your bobbin on here. Well, I'll show you at the end, and then you wrap it through this tension, and then you wrap it around here, and then it threads your bobbin. So you want to have your thread on where the thread pulls from the back of the spool. And then you want to go in this little spring. There's two little discs inside here, and you want to be in between the two discs that are inside this tension. And sometimes your tension may be down here. You may have a little loop that you go through first. This is an older machine, so each one is just a little bit different nowadays. So I have some other machines. I can show you some different types of machines. I probably have about 6 other machines. But this is an older style, and a lot of people still use this machine. It was a good machine. It was one of my first machines. So you want to make sure you're in that disc, and then there's a little loop right here with a little wire, and you want to make sure that you're in inside the two discs, and you're inside that wire, so it kind of catches. You can feel the tension. It's kind of taut, you know what I mean? So you want to go down, and then you loop it through here, and then you want to put it through this take-up lever here, whatever, and then down, and then in this little tension, and then there's another little tension here. So make sure that it all pulls, and then you're ready to thread your needle. I think this one goes straight on. Wish the light worked, it would really help. Yeah, this machine, the needle gets put in where the hole is in the front, and then usually in the back there's like a groove on the needle. It goes in the back. Then some machines, it just depends on what model you have. Some machines, then you want that to be, the thread to be underneath, not wrapping around the needle, just free on the needle, and then towards the back of your foot. You want it to go towards the back. But anyway, some needles have the little groove, and it's on the outside edge. So it just depends on what model your machine is to where you position your needle. And some needles have like a flat part that goes inside this, the needle part here. And, so that will determine how it goes in. There may be only one way that it can go in. And then down here is your bobbin. So you thread your bobbin, and then you want to put it in clockwise. So your thread is running from the top here. It's running right from the top, and then you just set it in there, and then there's two little, no, am I telling you wrong? The opposite way, I'm sorry. Goes the opposite way. So it's clockwise like this, and then you want to flip it so it's counterclockwise, and you put it in there, so that creates some tension. And then there's a little slit in the disc down here. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can move this to show you. But there's a little slit inside here, and you want to put that inside the groove in that slit, and then it clicks towards the back there. So then what you want to do, I hope I still have you on position. It's hard when you move the camera around. Then you want to hold your top thread. You want to hold that. And then you want to turn your wheel towards you. Always turn your wheel towards you. And then it will take up that bobbin thread. And then you have a loop, and then you pull the loop. And so you have both threads, and then you want both threads to go towards the back. and then close your bobbin case cover, and then you're ready to sew. So let me just cut a little strip. I hope this machine is on and working. I pulled it out of the closet just to show you guys, but I don't want to cut off too much of this fabric because I want to make some, I'm making a couple dolls right now. I want to make some doll clothes out of this material. So I'm just going to use a little strip from it, but I thought it was really pretty material. Lay that over here, and then you can see it. So then I'm just going to fold the material like if you were making a belt loop or something. Just fold it and sew it that way. And then when you cut out a pattern or you start to sew anything, always remember that the right sides always go together. So if you keep that in mind when you're putting things together and you put on a sleeve or you put on any parts of the material, the pieces together, that right sides always go together. So then you just put your foot down. There's usually a lever in the back for your foot, and then you just push your little pedal. Make sure you're all plugged in. I had to run an extension cord to get this table up here by my computer and my camera. Otherwise, my sewing shop is actually in the back of this space, but I wanted to show you. So you can start with the needle down and then just pick your stitches. Make sure you pick your stitches. Like this right now was left on a basting stitch. So you're going to get six stitches per inch for a basting stitch. And a basting stitch is good for if you want to gather things. It makes a longer stitch, and it's easier for gathering, and it's also easier to use a basting stitch like this if you want to put a garment or something together and just for trial, and then it'll be easy to take out again if you need to change something, and then you can sew it back the correct stitches. So we're going to put it on let's start the basting stitch, and then I can show you. And I got black thread on so you can actually see, because if I would use white, and then make sure that your needle position, this is for your needle position. This L is for the left. You could put let me pull it up a little bit. Pull the needle up. If you put this to L, see the needle goes over towards the left-hand side. And then if you put it on the C means that it's going to sew in the center. And then if you put it towards the right, then it would move over towards the right. So we're going to put it back on C, and we're on just the regular stitching, because see, you have zigzag, and then you have your buttonhole stitch and some other decorative stitches. So we just want to do the basting stitch. I'm not sure why I'm not on, but I don't have power. Let me see. This extension cord might not be turned. The power strip is not on. Okay, there, we're ready to have some juice and get going. I believe this machine still works. I haven't used the whole machine in a long time, but I'm sure it does. Okay, so it's still to the right, so we have to get that needle back up to the center. So there. It's going towards the right. That's more in position in the middle. Machine is so old it's really seen its day, but it still works, so I thought it would be a good one to show, even though it's noisy and things. I thought it would be a good one to show you, because a lot of people are using a little bit older machines that I've seen online. So you can see it on the white side here. So if you take an inch, like about an inch there, you should have six stitches there in 1 inch. So then let's turn it to what you really want to sew on your regular garments, either between the two where you're getting 12 stitches per inch. It makes it nice and sturdy. Or you could go down to 2.5 where you're getting 10 stitches per inch. So either one of those are efficient for putting a garment together. So you want to make sure that you're sewing your garments with the correct length of stitches. So I'll show you how much closer together they are. machine needs oiled. And then always pull your thread out, and don't clip close to here, because then your needle will come unthreaded all the time. So pull your stitching out, your thread out, and then cut, so that way your needle doesn't come unthreaded every time. So see, then you can see that these are a little bit tighter stitches. So if you had an inch, you have probably about 12 stitches there per, 10 stitches, I'm sorry, I'm on 2.5. I left it on 2.5. So you're about 10 stitches per 1 inch. So that's what you have. And then your thread tension, if it seems to be pulling real tight, or your stitches seem to be real tight, then you would need to adjust the thread tension. Mine might be just a little bit tight, so I'll back off a little bit. So then you have that. So let me show you how to, I don't know if there's anything else I could show you on this right now for beginner anyway. Oh, and the reason why I didn't have this, that was the problem, why it wasn't in the center. So you put it on C up here, and it should be on the red mark here. Let me try to sew it again and make sure that it's, I had it on the bottom part here. So you want it to be on the red mark. Yeah, now it's in the middle. See, it's in the middle. So let's try. We put it to the right now, and then let's see if it goes to the right. Yeah, it goes to the right. So then if you put it to the left, then it should switch over to where it's going to sew on that side, on the left-hand side. Yeah, and it did. So this machine still works pretty good. And I've had this machine, oh my goodness, a long, long time. A very long time. Over 20 years. And it's still working. It needs a little tune-up, and it probably needs a little oil, and it's been sitting for quite a while. So, but you can see how I started off here on the, with the stitching in the middle, and then see how it made its way over to stitch towards the right, and then I turned it to the left, and then it went over towards the left-hand side. So you have that. And then let me show you how to wind a bobbin. Take this out. Well, I'll have to undo that anyway. So, okay, pretend that this were just an empty bobbin, okay? And then we'll take this unthreaded, and I'll show you how to thread it again if you didn't catch it the first time. So you want to make sure that you're going, since I have thread on here, you're going the same way that this thread is going, but otherwise just start it off just a little bit so it gets, it won't come undone. So you want to take your bobbin, and you want the thread to be, this bobbin should fit, on this outside, and then you want it to be on this little bar here, and then inside the tension disc, and then your thread still wrapped from behind. And so what you do is your wheel is going to be, like we were just regular sewing, is going to be getting your needle to go up and down. So what you want to do is twist this inside wheel. You want to twist it towards you, and it unlocks that, and then you can begin to wind your bobbin. And I don't know if this bobbin winder is still working. I don't have it down. It may not be working. It's bobbin winder. I don't think it is working. But anyway, this would work, but that's how you thread it anyway. So it's, on the outside, your thread is on the outside of this, it's on the outside of that bar, and it's inside that disc and on the back side of your spool of thread. And then you just click it on a regular machine that works. I don't know why this one isn't working. It needs a little tune-up job and fixed maybe, but I haven't used it in 100 years, I swear. So, but anyway, it would work. It would just wind, up, and then it would get to a point where it would shut off by itself. It would just release itself. This thing releases itself, and that tells you that the bobbin is full and it's ready. So then you just take your, I don't think this is the right size bobbin for this machine, because it shouldn't be this hard to get back off again. I don't know why it is. I think it's the wrong bobbin. But it's not going. coming off. There it goes. Yeah, there's something in this sensor. Something's not right. But anyway, and then to put your bobbin back in, it's in clockwise, and then you want to flip it so the thread is behind, and then drop it in there, and then put it through that little slit that's towards you, and then pull it towards the side, and it'll go in between those two little pieces of metal. And then to thread your machine, you want to have your thread coming from the back side of your spool, and you want to go down in between these two discs and make sure it clicks in there, and it's, you know, free there, and then it's down inside this little wire, and you want to go down inside here and through the hole up here, and then down and inside this little disc, and inside this tension bar, and then this machine threads the needle threads from the front. And you have your needle threaded, and then you want to hold your thread, and then, oh, we got to tighten this back up or it won't go down. So then put your needle down, and it will grab that bottom thread for you, and then you got to loop, and then pull the loop and put both threads inside there and towards the back, and then shut your bobbin case lid, and you are ready to sew. Let's see, we're in, always should be in the middle, unless your pattern calls for you to like sew a zipper that you need to turn it to the right or to the left or something like that. But otherwise, you'll sew all of your garments together, usually with the center position of the needle. So then just start. And then flip your lever up, get your foot to come up, and then pull your thread. And then if you're like at the bottom, if you're sewing something and you're, you know, say for instance, you're at the bottom of your, you know, pattern piece that you're sewing, you know, your pieces together, and you're sewing along, and you're going to end up here at the bottom, you can just keep going, and let the thread keep going, and just, you know, let it do that. That's fine too. And then just break it off. Just cut it off. So there, you have it for learning how to, you know, thread your machine and how to keep your needle in position. And I hope that you enjoyed my little tutorial, and, you know, it helps you along to learn how to thread your machine. Okay? All right. Well, thanks so much. I'm Karen, and if you have any questions or anything, you can reach out to me. That would be fine. I also have a, I haven't been on a while because I've been trying to finish up a book with some pictures and things, but you can learn a lot about fabrics and about needles. I have a tailoring page on Facebook, a tailor shop page. If you look on my page, my links, befriend me or whatever, and there's a tailoring page, and you can go to that page and you can learn a lot about needle sizes and fabrics, and some different things that I wrote would be really helpful to you. Just it's not actually for beginning sewing, but it can give you some information about different things to choose when you go in to buy supplies and stuff. So you might gain some insight from that blog. Okay? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Thanks so much.